Okay, but now we have this eye that's fixed, which is nice. So let me turn off that layer, turn it back on. So it's not so easy to use clone stamp and whatnot around this eye. There's a couple ways to go about fixing that eye. I am going to choose what's called a selection tool. Okay, and you all have probably seen it, and it's kind of a strange looking tool called a lasso. Okay, and let me zoom out here. I want to look at this eye. So let me try to take at least the bottom part of his eye. I'm going to select like this, you see? Just wrapping around. Let's see what happens when I do this. And I'll go to what's called Select Feather to soften the edge of that selection so it's not so harsh. So it doesn't look like, because I'm going to copy this eye and paste it. And I don't want it to look like you can see the edge of it. Okay? I want it to be soft like this. I just put a little, what's called a quick mask on there just to show you how soft it is. Before I went and did that, it was such a hard edge. Watch this. See? So we don't want that. We want it to be a soft edge. So feather. Let's do that again. I don't think this is going to work out, but I'm going to try it anyway. So I went to Edit Copy. Then I go to Edit Paste. Okay? Now when it pasted it, in my layer palette over here, it just shows a new layer popped up. That happens to be the eye that I just pasted. So what's nice about being in layers is now I can move the eye that I just pasted independent from the rest of the picture.
That's creepy.
You should see what I do every day. Okay, so this is nice, okay, but we're definitely not done. So before, after, it looks like you got a black eye, but before, after. So let's go in here.
You can do a horizontal flip with it?
I don't know, really. I don't think I want to.
If you go horizontal flip, it'll make it the opposite and it'll look like...
He'll be cross-eyed, and he'll be cockeyed maybe. He is cockeyed a little bit. Sometimes I flip it. Sometimes I flip it, and he's talking about going to Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal, okay? And see? Okay. So I don't think so in this case, okay?
Seems like it should be sized smaller.
And it may be smaller, yeah, yeah. Well, actually, it's not. It's just this. I should distort it. So let's do this. And this is in Elements too. Edit, warp. Let's do that. Okay. So let me see if I can.
Oh man.
Try to help that. That's one way to do it. I'm thinking maybe I should have used distort instead. So let's see. Turn that off. Turn it on. It's almost a match. But what we want to do is fix his shiner, you know. So again, this is really rough. Actually, I would have cleaned up all the skin first before I even did this. But let's just go in here with the clone stamp tool. Okay. So so before, after, before, after. His other eye is kind of looking, and again, he's really cockeyed a little bit.
His two pupils are looking in different directions.
They are. He's a little cockeyed, yeah. Okay. So one way to do that is to do a little selection of this white part of the eye, okay? And we'll of course feather that. We'll soften it a little bit, okay? And then I want to copy all the information that I just pasted in there. And I know I'm going over a lot of heads right now, but for those of you that are a little more advanced, you might find this helpful. When I do copy merged, I get all the information that's on all the layers. And then I want to edit paste. And now I'm going to have another layer in the layer palette. This is the white part that I just pasted, okay? let's go to Edit, Transform, Horizontal. And I'm flipping that white part to try to help him look cockeyed, like he should. So there you go. Now, the other end of his eye is a little too sharp looking.
Yeah.
It should fade off, and it definitely shouldn't be dark down there. There shouldn't be any shadow. Okay, so I can go there with a paintbrush tool or with the clone stamp tool maybe, and kind of get rid of that. Let me drop the opacity a little bit so that it's not just a solid color. We leave a little bit of shading in there, a little bit. Okay, so now let's look at it before, after. Not bad. Yeah, the inside is still a little too dark. But the whole point is, if you keep working on it, right, and you use these different tools, and I didn't show you everything that I would have done, you know, because it's too much. And I think I want to move on to something else right now because I'm losing people. You're starting to look like a cow just chewing the cud, you know, and you're out there saying, wow, you know, but I don't want to wow you. I want to kind of show you what you can do. So is that okay? Do you mind if I go on to another one? Sure. It's so tough, I can't do it anymore. No, seriously, I can handle it, but I want to move on. We have so many different pictures, okay? So I'm not going to save that because that was atrocious. Any questions? Any questions?
Can you simplify layers for me? What do they mean by layers?
Well, I kind of showed you in that. Did you see how his new eye, I was moving his new eye around and then I moved that new white of the eye around? That's layers.
That's a layer.
You can't do that without layers. Each one of those was a separate layer. Otherwise, you end up moving something else. You know what I mean? You move the whole thing. It just doesn't work. That's what the layers do. Okay, so here we have, look at this, okay? How many of y'all have this where you have pictures in an album that were glued? We talked about this. And they were glued so tight that they're not coming off, okay? All right, there's a couple things we can do. The first thing that came to my mind, keep that water away, is I think we should scan the whole sheet, even if it's in pieces, and then we can make individual images from the entire sheet. Okay, then we have an image on the back. This is an 8 by 10, so this should be easy to handle. Any suggestions? Anybody got a better idea? I'm not trying to be smart. I'm serious. Okay.
Kind of like torn in half. You know what I'm saying? That like maybe it's there's several layers of it, and you just get it.
You're telling me to split to tear off the picture.
No, the cardboard that it's on.
Yeah, the page itself might have several layers that might.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't do that. I don't know. I think that's too dangerous.
Yeah. One other option would be to take like a piece of white paper or whatever and block out the other pictures, scan them one at a time like that.
Yeah, but why not let the scanner do that? Right? We'll select which part. So let's see. Scanner's warming up again.
Now, can you do that with your digital cameras you've got now? You know how someone takes a picture and it's underexposed or overexposed? Can you go through that same situation with red, white, and blue and
red, green, and blue.
Yeah, red, green.
She's a patriot. Yep.
But can you do that and get the picture brighter or anything?
Okay, if I have a picture, a photograph, you're saying, and if it's overexposed or it's underexposed, either it's too light or it's too dark.
Right.
I take a copy shot of it with my camera, and that should give me more control over making it look better. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
No. You should scan it. Scan it. Because once you make a copy shot of it, you're making another generation. It's like you're making a copy of it. Don't do a copy shot unless you absolutely have to.